Hello everyone and welcome to this cozy autumn sketchbook time. This is going to be a very calm, relaxing video, so it's perfect to put on in the background while you work on your own projects. Or you could just make yourself a cup of tea like I did at the beginning and sit back to enjoy watching the progress of this painting while I chat to you now and again. I've added some music, but it will be very quiet and minimal, so hopefully it should just add to the calm atmosphere. When I decided I was going to film this video the other day, I lit a candle and got myself a hot cup of tea and just made the studio really cozy so that I could settle down. It was a very overcast afternoon. I'll actually show you a couple of views from the studio window later on so that you can see how overcast it was, and then later on in the afternoon it actually started to rain really heavily, and so I managed to capture some of that as well, but it all added to this really cozy atmosphere. For this piece I'm using mainly Holbein acrylic gouache. I am working in a Strathmore mixed media sketchbook. This has really nice thick paper and it's one of my favourite sketchbooks at the moment for working in acrylic gouache. I will also be adding a little bit of mixed media to this piece. I think I add some Neocolour crayon and coloured pencil a little bit later on. So it is a little bit mixed media, but it's mainly painted in the acrylic gouache. In this video you'll see a mix of real-time painting and speeded up painting, because if we watched it all in real time we would be here for several hours. It actually takes me, I would say, probably a good 4 to 5 hours at least to work on a piece like this, which may seem like quite a lot, but when you see the end result you'll see how much detail there is and how much layering there is. I'm just quite a slow painter. This is how I work. Even when I try to speed things up a bit, or I think I'm going to be a bit looser with this one, I always seem to gravitate towards the detail and this kind of element of being very precise in my work. So I guess this is just the way I work and I can't really fight it. So yeah, to share something like this with you, it's necessary to either edit it so there are quite a few cuts, so we move from, one section to another a bit more quickly, or to speed up the footage. But yeah, it's interesting to see how these paintings evolve as I go along. You will have noticed probably at the beginning that I didn't really sketch in a very detailed way. I pretty much just mark out where the basic elements of the composition are, and then I let the painting evolve as I'm working on it. And this is my preferred way of working because I kind of feel like it gives the paintings their own life that way. It's like if you're making the decisions as you go along and you're a little bit flexible, I think they actually turn into more successful pieces. One thing I thought it would be nice to talk to you about today while you watch me paint is about my Patreon, which will be launching soon. I'm asked about this a lot, and I keep saying to people, it will be soon, it will be soon. And hopefully it will be soon. But it is taking me a little bit longer than planned to put it all together and get it up and running. If any of you have built a Patreon before, built the page, you all know how much work it is to put it together. There are lots of different elements before you launch, and I also want to make sure to have some nice exclusive posts on there, whether that's videos or photos or something else, so that you can, when you go there for the first time, even if it's new, there's, quite a bit of stuff for you to have a look at and hopefully to inspire you, and that you can perhaps learn from. And I want it to be something that's a real community. It's not for any particular level of artist, by the way, because I have been asked this question as well. It's like, is it going to be suitable for beginners? It's going to be suitable for all levels of artists, or anyone who's just really interested in art. You don't have to be a professional. You could be just a beginner or an amateur, and hopefully there's something on there for everyone. The idea is that I'm just showing you a much more in-depth look at my process. I'm giving you tips and advice and doing reviews of art supplies. I don't want to give it all away, actually. I want to wait until I launch, and then you can go and check it out. But there's going to be a lot of, shall we say, colour palette chat, art supplies chat, the kind of things that you like on my YouTube, but just more of them. So it will be exclusive content, and certain things that I don't really share that much on my YouTube as well. So I'm going to not tell you too much, but you'll be able to hopefully check it out soon, and I will certainly let you know when it is launched and ready for you to have a look at. But I'm trying to make sure that it's going to be something that is sustainable for me. So I've been thinking long and hard about what I'm going to offer every month, whether I can keep it up without burning out, because that's really important. But I think I've come up with a really good plan for it, and I'm really excited to launch it now. The important thing to me, I think, is to make it feel like it is a very inclusive art community, because I've experienced a little bit of what I would call kind of cliqueiness online, where people are very much in their own little community or group, and they can tend to exclude other people or not make them feel that welcome. I really don't want this to feel anything like that. I want it to feel like a very warm, friendly, inclusive group where everybody is welcome. One element of having this YouTube channel that I've always loved are the connections I've made here, and the fact that it often feels like we're just a group of artist friends just hanging out together and sharing our inspiration, our knowledge, our passion, our love for art and art materials, and just really encouraging each other, I suppose. And that's kind of what I want Patreon to feel like. I want it to feel like an extension of that, where it's this safe, friendly environment for people to come to get inspired and just maybe be encouraged on their own creative journey. That's really what I would love for it to feel like, and really what I'm aiming for with this. When I realised it was raining really heavily, I had to just film a little bit of it for you because it's so beautiful with the raindrops running down the window and the sun attempting to come out in the background. To paint the trees and bushes like this always takes such a long time. It's a very time-consuming process, but I love the effect it gives so much that I always seem to end up doing it, even though it drives me slightly bonkers while I'm actually painting them. I always feel like I can't wait to take the tape off. I just always want to see whether it's worked. So when I decided that the top of the painting was finished, I took that piece of tape off and it was so satisfying. at this point I'd done something to the painting that I really didn't like, so I had to go over the foreground again, or is that the middle ground? Whichever one. And I decided to cover up my mistake. I had attempted to add a little bit of texture with, I think it was Neo colour, but yeah, I didn't like it. So as you'll see, I go over it and in the end it looks good. But I think all paintings seem to go through this phase where you really like them and then you do something where you feel like you've messed it up or it's just going wrong, and then if you persevere, you do actually manage most of the time to bring it back to something that you really like. And fortunately, that's what happened with this one.
So close your eyes. Do you feel the same? Only thing that matters without change. I will let you into my mind's deep. The color that falling tears that have been long asleep. The lights are out and heaven's open. We can be everything we want. Oh, stop the clocks, the bees are humming in between the contrasts of our souls.
So a little while later, after adding some more details and a little bit of extra texture and just refining the overall composition, I finally finished, and I called this piece Autumn Bonfire in the Garden of Beech Cottage. Well, I hope you enjoyed this cosy autumn sketchbook time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again soon next week in another video.